still right here at the White Rhino Hotel Nyeri, where the Options Agency was holding its event. And of course, we want to find out a little bit about the brains behind Options Agency. And ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce the director and the founder of Options Agency. Karibu sana, madam. It's nice to see you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Wachera.
Yeah,
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about Options Agency.
Yes, my name is Helen Maria.
Yes.
I am born in Kenya.
Yes.
I've lived in Kenya in my earlier years until I migrated to Australia, where I live at the moment. That's where I live. That's home.
Yes.
As much as I have a home here, I have another home in Australia. And Options Education was born out of a passion that I had for our young Kenyans, having more options into what they can do when they finish high school or when they finish their university degrees, or even other people who want to venture into further education abroad.
Tell us, when did it start, and maybe what inspired you to start Options?
Okay, when we moved to Australia about 22 years ago with my family, I kept having this desire to have more of my family and friends, children, joining us there, because when we were there, I noticed there's a lot of opportunities there. I noticed there are so many students, overseas students from other countries, and we had very few Kenyans. And I thought Kenyans can also benefit out of this. So a lot of our early students whom we took to Australia, they were just not from a business point of view, it was out of a passion to have these friends, to help friends and family have their children access Australian education. And it's only after 8 years of working in a job where I used to work as a management accountant with a wine business. When my job came to an end, I decided I don't want to look for another job. I probably can approach some of these institutions and we can work together for me, because I know Kenya better than they do. Probably they don't even know. They used to ask me, where did you learn your English? Some people are that naive. They don't know how much English we know here in Kenya. And being an English-speaking country, I could see how easy it could be for our Kenyan students to access Australian education, because some of the students who are coming from countries like China, India, or even other countries like different Asian countries, they didn't know much English. They had to start with an English course before they start their main course. But for us, Kenya, what is English?
Educated. Our families have, our parents have given us great education. We have great education here. Our government, shout out to you, our government. So maybe people would like to know, was it always like this? Really, like always successful? Maybe you can tell us, how was your background? How did you grow?
I was born in Kirinyaga district. I was educated in the district until when I went for my A-levels, I went to Machakos Girls. I'm born in a family which is, I would say, education is in our gene. My father was a teacher, two of my sisters were teachers, and I wanted to become a teacher. How I missed that, I think it's only God knows how I missed to become a teacher, and instead I became an accountant. So I was educated there. My mother was born in Nyeri. So I'm both. I can say I'm half Nyeri and I'm half Kirinyaga. And probably when I visit Nyeri, we have an office here in Nyeri. I always feel good. I feel at home as well.
All right, Karibu sana. We're so glad that Options actually came from Nyeri. Nyeri, we are blessed. As you can see, the brains behind this big company comes from here. So we should be proud as Nyerians. So let's talk about today's event before we continue. So today's event, you held it here, and the turnout was actually very good. So maybe you can tell us, what was your objective for this event? Why did you choose Nyeri today?
Okay, Nyeri, Options operates several branches across the country. Our biggest branch being Nairobi, which is our mother branch. And then from Nairobi, we opened the Eldoret office, and then Nakuru, and eventually we opened Nyeri and Thika almost at the same time. I know we were in Nyeri before. We closed down after COVID hit. We had just started. Before we even started, COVID came, and then we kind of threw away the whole idea until now. After COVID, we came back. So our main idea of today is to let the Nyeri people know that there are opportunities lying out there, that they need to have informed decisions as they guide their children, or as the students want to further their studies abroad. They should know there are some authentic agencies who can carry them, or who can facilitate the whole process to make it seamless for them to move from this country and access the Australian education. We've been doing this for a number of years, as I've said before. Now 15 years, we are heading to 15 years. We have had so many students, we have so many success stories, and we are hoping Nyeri people, or rather the Mount Kenya people, can also access these opportunities. Because when we looked at our statistics, we are lagging behind the others, probably because we opened Eldoret much earlier. It's a very vibrant branch, and we are hoping we will have a similar branch here in Nyeri.
Okay. In some cases, we have some agencies who will come just like options, and they will say that they are offering opportunities to go abroad, but some of them are just scamming people. So how will people be able to trust options as an agency that is actually legit?
Good question. Options, like any other agency, you have to do your due diligence as a student, because a lot of people come to you telling you we can take you to Australia. We will tell you the same. I think the best thing you can do for students, and I always advise them that way, please check whether the agency is registered with the Commission for University Education here in Kenya. Options is already a registered agency for that purpose. And again, at the same time, visit the offices. If you are a scammer, you will not have an office. A lot of scammers, they actually love dealing with you on the phone. We have 5 different office locations in Kenya. We have over 30 student counselors who work for Options Education. And by the time you visit the office, you should be able to feel the ambience of the office, and you should be able to tell whether you are being scammed. A lot of times, and even when you are paying us, you're not supposed to pay any individual. We don't take any students' fees. If we are dealing with a university and we are telling you this university is where you pay your fees, we do not like being the middleman. We will give you the details of the university where you pay your fees direct. It's a very easy system, and all we do is we facilitate. We never hold the students' money, because a lot of times, a lot of scammers, they will ask you for money. Money is not our business. We do not take your money. The only money you pay will be our agency fees, which is uniform for all students. But for this big money, 200,000, please pay the university, give us the money so that we pay for you. We don't do that kind of thing. And we don't do that deliberately, because we also want to give the students and their parents more confidence as they deal with us. So we give them direct bank, Australian banks, and if for any reason you don't get your visa, or for any reason the whole process abort, we are able to follow every step on the way to make sure that the student gets back their money. And I'm telling you, you can't be in this for 15 years if you're joking around with people's hard-earned cash.
All right. So take for example, I've taken my child through Options agency, and they've gone to Australia. So what next? How will I be sure I'm in my country, my child is in Australia, they've gone through Options? What security does the Option agency offer? Any security to a child who actually goes to the universities that you have partnered with as an agency?
So what I would say is, I can't say Options looks after all the students within Australia, but Options partners with credible university institutions who have a very good network of processes, including counseling those students, including even airport pickups. So there's a lot of services that our Australian universities give to international students. Not forgetting that international student is a whole area which is very supported by Australian government. And in case a student is in trouble, for example, they should always have an avenue to go through. We, Options Education, we do have offices in Australia. We try our best to help these students whenever they're in trouble, by guiding them sometimes into which avenue they should follow. Say, for example, someone is getting depressed, maybe and you always have young students. Sometimes a change of environment will make them feel uncomfortable. They miss home, they get homesick. There's always a system in place whereby they will see counselors, they will be counseled, and they'll be given like a chance. They can even be given a leave of study so that they work around what they are going through. It's a whole system which is supported by a lot. But for us options, we try and work with our students all the way to the end. We are always there. We have a whole full-fledged office, 2 of them, one in Perth, the other one in Adelaide, where we service all the students when they come to Australia. In case of anything, just give us a call. In case the mother wants to talk to their child, or the father wants to know something is going on, they'll give us a call, and we will always be able to follow. I have a whole team with me in Australia, and that's where I'm normally based.
Amazing services.
Thank you.
Okay, so what are the requirements? What do I need as a student to, come to your agent and, fly abroad and do my studies?
Most importantly, you need to have been educated up to year 12. Year 12 here, I mean you have to have had 12 years of study, including your high school. And our 844 system of education already meets that. Those who have done KCSE, for example, they have met that requirement. If you have finished your KCSE and obtained a grade which is from D, I mean D for doctor, all the way up to A, we have something for you. I always encourage parents to stop thinking their children have failed after they finish high school and they didn't get that A or B plus, and maybe they got a D or a D plus, and you are almost shying away to bringing that child forward because you think they failed. They actually haven't failed because they have finished. They are finishers. We can't all be A grades, can we? We can't.
No, we cannot.
Yes, we can't. And so all those students, we have something for them. There are those with the D, but they can study something like chef. They can become a chef. They can do hospitality, hands-on jobs. Others can do automotive engineering. That is becoming a mechanic, either whether it's a diesel mechanic or petrol mechanic, name it. There's a lot of opportunities for those students as well. Actually, I can tell you some of the most successful students are those who are a little bit lower in their grades because I think they work so hard to recover or to cover up. It's a place for everyone. There's nothing like, and even those who have done GC or IGCSE, it's just the same. As long as you have finished, cross the line, you have finished. So we'll just take you to what suits you.
Amazing. So let's talk about today's event right here in our county. Say you come from Nyeri, so let's focus on here now. So you hosted this event today. So you had objectives. Maybe you can tell us the objectives and what they actually met today.
Our objectives of bringing this event here in White Rhino in Nyeri, first of all, was to bring more awareness to the people of Nyeri, to the people of Mount Kenya area, that there are options sitting out there for them. A lot of parents would love to take their children overseas to study, but sometimes they have nowhere. They don't know where do I start? I receive a lot of calls from friends or friends who know me saying, I heard you're here. How can I take my son to Australia? Imagine, they didn't know, yet we have offices in Nairobi, we have offices in Nakuru, we have an office in Eldoret, but you are here, you don't know. Why? Because people don't know whether we even exist. We are here in the Outspan Plaza, here in Nyeri, and parents are more than welcome. They don't have to talk to Helen personally. We have a team of student counselors, well-trained, experienced, who do that job every day. They are always talking to new students who have visited our offices, and I can tell you, a lot of them, we have quite a number who have already gone through Nyeri, so we are very positive that it's working. We are very new here. I must say we only have less than, I think, about a year, and we are hoping people keep knowing, and that's why we brought this event here, and we'll keep bringing them until people in Mount Kenya area know that they have an office right next to them. They don't have to travel to Nairobi. Right outside their gates, where they can bring their children, because today we saw students from Kirinyaga district, we show students from Nyeri, we show students who had traveled from Nyahururu.
Yes, even from Busia, I had a student from Busia.
We had a student from Busia. How beautiful is that? You see, because we put it in the social media out there, and we hope this will continue until people get to know. To take my child abroad, I just need to walk at the Outspan Plaza, and I'll be guided A to Z. All you need to do is walk through our doors, and we'll carry you. You can close your eyes, you open your eyes when you reach the other end, because we help you with everything. We have requirements which are there, and we will guide you through all the requirements, because at times you will need more requirements than other times, depending on which program you're going to study. A lot of students used to go and do the English test before they even come and see us, and then we tell, why did you have to do that? You don't need that. So I think the best thing is come and visit our option. I would ask the parents who are listening to us to send their students to come and see us, and we will guide them all steps on the way. Yes.
Well, of course, you should know that the Nyeri branch is also serving Isiolo, Meru, Thika. So you don't have to go all the way to Nairobi or Eldoret. We have already got you here in Nyeri. So you've talked about opening an English school. We know that Australia is an English-speaking country. So sometimes we do have students who have challenges with speaking in English and stuff. So are you planning to open English schools in other branches, or is just in one area?
Yes, we are opening an English testing center. We are calling it Options English Center. We are opening an English center in Eldoret. This is like a test center. We have never had to train students for English. We always send them other places, but we were not very satisfied with some of the outcomes. So we have now a full-fledged English center where we are training students to pass the 4 types of English which are acceptable in Australia. One of which is IELTS, which is IELTS. We also have another one called PTE, or Pearson Test of English. We have OET, and we also have TOEFL, which is very popular with American education systems. So we are going to be teaching students, coaching them. Kenyans, they are all English speakers. It's just coaching them how to pass that test. Because some programs, like for example, a student who wants to do health programs, like nursing, pharmacy, medicine, they must prove to the Australian authorities and the education, the institutions, that their English is top-notch. This way they must pass with very high grades. So we are able to guide them as to how they can achieve that. We are also able to identify a student and tell them, I think from the way we have evaluated you, I don't think you can attain these very high grades. So we can look for a different education program that suits your English level. For example, business programs, community services programs. Engineering doesn't require too much English. You're dealing with the machines, I think. So there's a lot of programs anyway which don't require this very top English.
Okay, so let's get straight to the challenges, because we definitely know that every field there are challenges. So let's talk about the challenges. Maybe somebody will be there saying, oh my God, going to Australia is a big deal. So tell us about the challenges.
Of course, some of the challenges is the economic factors, where students are not able to meet the financial requirements of what they are intending to study. A lot of times we do try and come up with the budget programs which are slightly cheaper to overcome that. But some of the worst challenges that we have is fraudulent documents, whereby some students would come and bring forward some documents which are not authentic. For example, you say you have a bachelor's when actually you've never stepped to a uni, and you see you have a bachelor of say you have a bachelor of commerce, and this is your transcript. They're all looking very legit. Then we process them, but before you go very far, because we always have a system where we check them against the university you claim to have studied, then it becomes a terrible problem. them. Worst case scenario is if they are discovered by the university itself, because even if you have paid fees, you might not get back your money. Some universities have policies, if you pay fees against fake documents, it's not their business to give you back the money. I think they give back the money to a different Australian authority. So I really do advise students not to try and get carried away. Even if you had a C, don't try to make it an A. Come, let's deal with the C. And even if you don't have a university degree, we have a way we can still deal with you without creating a fake document. The other challenge we have also is, of course, the counterfeit education agents. We have a lot of few agents who have cropped up, especially in the last 2 years, who are giving a lot of fake information, who are guiding students the wrong way, and at the end, it becomes terrible for us as a country. We are being looked at as a country. We have so many students who do not seem to understand exactly how to fulfill the requirements of getting an Australian student visa, and so they'll get refusals, and that tarnishes our image as a country, which is working against all of us. So that's why we have Commission for University Education, which tries to vet which agents to remain as agents. But we have so many briefcase agents who still are doing this, talking big but delivering nothing, and at the end of it, the money they are looking for is the students' money. We don't care about the students' money. We care about them getting to Australia, because we are contracted by legit universities who really, our job is just to make sure we get them authentic students, genuine students who are really going to study and finish their programs.
All right, so before we wind up on the challenges, so we like to talk about a little bit about COVID. So maybe I enrolled with the Options Agency during COVID, and there was a lockdown. So how are those students affected, and maybe was there a reimbursement, or were they able to carry forward the semesters? What happened? We'd like to know.
For those who are in Australia, there was a lot of help from the government itself, and from the institutions where they study, and from even us who are there with them, because what we're trying to do, we even mobilized our Kenyan community, where we all came together even to help these students, because they can't even work part-time because everything is locked down. And most importantly is the institutions where they study, they came up with study online programs. So those who are already in Australia, they were okay. They only went slow because now there's no face-to-face. Everything is being done online. If you want face-to-face, it's through a Zoom system where you watch your lectures from your room. Somehow we managed to go through that. But those who are already in Kenya and they wanted to access their programs in Australia, even if they had paid fees, even if they had their visas, there's nothing much they could do because the borders were locked. So what happened, they were given a lot of leniency, because if you had a visa and you are here and you had not traveled, that visa was still held, and even when it ended, they were extended. So, and a lot of programs, also a lot of universities opened online programs. A lot of students could study their programs while they are still here, so that when they go, at least they have, if you're doing a master's in social work, for example, you are doing a few the theory programs, you can do them online. When you get to Australia, you do the practical ones. And not just, almost like in every program, every university had already started. I was very scared that this might be our new life. It was really looking very...
COVID affected almost everybody. It was so unfortunate, but we are so happy that it's here. We thank God.
Here we are.
So as we wind up, maybe you can tell us, if do you have to apply for the university like a full-time physically, or do you have like online programs? People can be like, I can apply through this and then do online. You've talked about online through during COVID.
During COVID, yes.
Do you have those services even up to now?
Okay, I'll say, if you want to study, studying in Australia, as an international student, you are not allowed to study online. But you can study online if you are a Kenyan students, you don't want any student visa, you are just here, you want to just acquire a certain qualification, you can do that. And I know some people have done that.
Yes.
The only difference is when you do that, you are not eligible for the post-study work visa, for example, because when you finish a program in Australia as an international student, where you study for 2 years, the government gives you 2 years post-study work visa, plus another 2 years, depending on which state you are based. For example, if you're based in Adelaide, our state of South Australia, you get the advantage of getting another 2 years of post-study work visa. Same case with WA, that is Western Australia, and even places like Tasmania, Northern Territory, you can do that. So it's something that I would encourage most people to whatever.
Okay. All right. So as we wind up, maybe you can give a parting shot to parents and students out there. Maybe you can tell them something.
Yes. I think my parting shot I can address to those who are viewing me today. If you are a parent, and we are all parents, I'm a parent myself, and I want my children to venture into further education, my advice is take that extra step and choose Australia to be a destination for your children. The reason being, we have everything for everyone. Australia acknowledges and takes into consideration all Kenyan education, which is very similar to Australian education. If your child has finished high school, let's stop calling them failures. Let's stop calling them failures when they have actually accomplished a whole 12 years of study. All they didn't get is probably the A you are dreaming about. Whatever they get, as long as it's a grade above E, those children, they have something that they can venture into in Australia. It's an investment which is worth it, which is worthwhile, and we have so many successful students. Those with A's, they go and study the programs which need A's. Those with B, the same. Those with C, the same. Those with D, the same. And we have everything for everyone. And I would advise, we are now here in Nyeri. For those people who are in this region, don't waste your time going all the way to Nairobi. We are now here at the Outspan Plaza, where our team of, we have a very, very experienced team who will help you with your children, with your young adult children, to access Australian education. Not just Australia, we also deal with UK and Ireland, sometimes Canada as well, but we are big players of Australia because we are an Australian company. We are based in Australia. We journey with your children from Kenya all the way to Australia, where we hold their hands and we celebrate their graduations together. We welcome you. When you come to Australia, please look for options, and we'll be there to receive you and to share the good land down under experiences with you. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Then you can give your contacts if people would want to reach you.
Yes, options. You can easily reach to us through our through the social media platforms. You just follow us as Options Education Agency. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on LinkedIn. All social media platforms, you'll find us there. Please follow us, and you get a lot of information. At the same time, you can reach us on telephone number, starting from the Nyeri office where we are today. We are at the Outspan Plaza. Our office is at the Outspan Plaza, and our telephone number is 0703 462 994. I can repeat, 0703 462 994. For our head office in Nairobi, we are based at the mall in Westlands. We occupy almost the whole of first floor. We have a very busy team there, and our number there is 0724 333 222 or 0724 333 222. Thank you very much. You can't say you don't know where we are. You can't, if you get scam stuff, if you are lied to by any agency, it's all yourself to blame. Please follow us, and we will guide you A to Z on how you can help or how you can get assistance to study from Kenya all the way to Australia and even to the other destinations. Thank you very much, Nyeri people. We love you. This is home. We hope to do the best here. we count on your support. Thank you.
Absolutely. We are so grateful, and we'll definitely put that on screen. And as I always say, our God is a God of diversity, and we are so grateful that you have brought options to us right here in Nyeri. And remember that no child there is a failure. So please make sure that you have given your child an opportunity to come and visit the Options Education Agency for them to have better opportunities. And we are so thankful that you have identified our home as a place where you can come and put up this great agency. And I hope parents out there, you have benefited, and of course we are hoping that we'll have more successful stories. So thank you so much for watching this episode. I've been your host, Wachera Gikonyo. Please make sure you subscribe and share to as many people as possible. I'll see you on the next one. Take care, guys.
Thank you.